What's cracking, y'all? You are now watching Boo TV. Appreciate you for stopping in. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified, and let's get into the topic for today. So I often hear on major media avenues and the Bron Goblins, aka Bron Gobs, the LeBron James cult, the Glazers, the sycophants, they say that LeBron James has had it harder than Michael Jordan because he had to play his professional career while navigating through the era of social media. They say that Jordan could not have handled all the media exposure and scrutiny of the 24/7 media cycle, considering that he complained about beat writers and newspaper reporters during his pre-social media era. They always use this social media age as a pure obstacle and hindrance to LeBron's career because he had to play through it. I have often gave pushback on this during barbershop talks, but have yet to speak about it on my channel. But now I have arrived.
Well, here I am.
There are 2 points of views that I would like to talk about with regard to the subject, and the first being that MJ detractors or LeBron James guzzlers like to say that Mike did not have the mental fortitude to withstand all the social media outlets, platforms, creators, reporters, 24/7 coverage, and scrutiny. They will say Jordan quit because he was mentally weak. In all actuality, he retired twice. Despite all the conspiracy theories about Jordan's first retirement, he retired in 1993 because 1, his father passed away, and his father always wanted him to play baseball, which he did, and 2nd, Jordan had felt he had hit his pinnacle and he had nothing left to prove as a basketball player and was okay walking away from the game and pursuing a different challenge in life. It had nothing to do with him not loving the game of basketball, and he spoke on that. And the second retirement had to deal with politics in the franchise and his loyalty to his coach and wanting to run it back with the same leadership and players that he had just won with. But primarily, he wanted to play with the coach he had already won 6 championships with. Loyalty, not asking to get coaches fired, asking for the coach to stay. You see, these LeBron booty sniffers will say anything to try to disintegrate this man. Michael Jordan is right there with a few players in the history of this league as being the pinnacle of mental toughness. And I am talking about the complete history of the game. I am talking about mental toughness personified was Michael Jordan. Jordan was the man that was eviscerating and evaporating other players and exposing their lack of mental fortitude. A man that was constantly on a seek and destroy mission every time down the court and was there to wear the opposition thin, both mentally and physically. Do you understand that players of all skill levels, talents, and positions would be petrified, scared of Jordan before stepping onto that court? He was legitimately feared. This isn't a myth. This isn't revisionist history. This isn't an agenda. This is testimony from players that actually played against Jordan. Not just talking about other players in the league, but self-identifying themselves as having this particular emotion or similar emotions towards competing against Michael Jordan.
We were his teammates and we were afraid of him. And there was just fear.
Catch the ball when I throw it to you. I just throw it to you.
Ignore this guy. He's coming through, but he's overplayed.
The fear factor of MJ was so thick.
If you really think social media and a bunch of know-nothing analysts and their opinions and their badgering is going to affect Jordan's game or run him out the league, you are absolutely nuts. All the players today are subject to some level of this, depending on popularity and story, some on the opposite ends of the extremes, and many players sprinkling throughout the middle. And most of them are doing just fine. And there is not a single player today that has the mental toughness and mentality that Jordan had. So what makes you think social media would be some type of kryptonite to Michael? Furthermore, there is a difference between LeBron James and Jordan personality-wise. They are nothing alike. LeBron craves for attention. Homelander. LeBron embraces the social media circles. He basks in it. Jordan has more introverted qualities. Jordan does not beg or crave for attention. Jordan is not asking people to worship him or making sure he is constantly trending. Jordan isn't aware of his Q score. Jordan is not running around here calling himself the GOAT, nor did he do that at any point in his playing career. Jordan isn't wasting his time trying to see what people are saying about him out of boredom. He wouldn't be on Instagram, TikTok, X, formerly known as Twitter, all these other things. So realistically, he would not even let himself be subject to this 24/7 media cycle the same way LeBron and other players do today, where they can just stay off it if they want to. Michael Jordan would be like how Kawhi Leonard handles social media as a player. You do have players today that are in fact mentally weak, and let what others say about them affect their game and mood. And they still can't stay off the damn internet, even though they know it's hurting them. You have players out here having to tell other players, yo man, turn off the phone, stay off the apps, stop searching for yourself. If Jordan was exposed to anything like that, got wind of such things being said, I can promise you me that it's nothing more than bulletin board fodder. Pin that on the wall. That's extra motivation, if you will. You just earned yourself a cool 50 points. Congratulations. Jordan always played the game for winning, and winning as much as he possibly could. And there is nothing that the age of social media could have done to deviate Mike from what mattered the most to him. LeBron, on the other hand, is not playing for championships anymore. He's playing for numbers, accolades, records, and recognition. He has infiltrated the media and looks to continue the spread and put puppets in position to create false narratives and keep his name relevant and trending. With that being said, it's a perfect time and perfect way to segue into my next point. That being, LeBron is using social media, and social media has been far more positive and fruitful for LeBron than the opposite, which the Bron Goblins and Bronsexuals and La Media would have you believe. They keep preaching about how tough it is because of being subject to 24/7 scrutiny, and failed to mention the other end of the spectrum. In this age of social media conduits like Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, etc., LeBron and his generation as well can advertise and expose themselves positively around the clock. It allows them to be far more personal and intimate with fans and fostering stronger bonds. However, YouTubers and independent space creators, such as myself, have the balls to go against the grain and give this cult any kind of pushback. The age of social media. LeBron isn't out here with blooper reels like JaVale McGee and Rudy Gobert, getting laughed at by the majority of the parasites and insects. Within 5 minutes of a live LeBron highlight, that clip will be circumvented all over the internet, and people are liking, hashtagging, praising, glazing, and sharing worldwide. The entire world. Think about that. The ability to market yourself globally is instant and seemingly automated today. Think about that. You don't have to be in the USA and wait till SportsCenter comes on, and hopefully you can catch the segment to see what Michael Jordan did that night, amongst all the other sports coverage fighting for a piece of time during the era. These days, everything is available at your fingertips, instantly and available for you to help push that information to anyone, anywhere around the world. Social media has opened up an entire new world for athletes, for endless possibilities of marketing and popularization. In Jordan's day, players did not get to control those narratives. Now players can push their own narratives and stories themselves instantly. Everything on their own terms. Paint themselves publicly how they want the world to see them. Address rumors instantly. Show accomplishments instantly. Players today are also monetized through their social media aura. Endorsements, sponsors are all latched into the player and the media outlet to earn money. I am talking millions of dollars of revenue for a player of LeBron's caliber to be active on these platforms. Michael Jordan's global impact was massive. Much more massive than LeBron James. And he didn't have social media. And we had never before seen such a global phenomenon like Michael Jordan from a basketball player ever. Jordan and his brand alone helped further popularize not just himself, but the NBA as a whole inside the global markets. Jordan's name reached borders, reached countries from all over, where many people in some countries did not even know what he looked like exactly, but they knew about him. The resources were not there, but somehow through word of mouth and human interactions, the phenomenon of Michael Jordan would find itself everywhere across the globe. Think about that. All without the use of social media. Think about how massive Mike is now and has been retired for over 20 years now. Now imagine how much larger he could have been with social media pushing him through every device you have and every application you have. I can't even fathom it. All while Jordan, being true to his personality, would not try to get on social media and push some kind of agenda for himself and create attention for himself, by himself. LeBron, like I mentioned earlier, a man that loves the exposure and the attention, has the ability to at any second, any moment, communicate with the entire world in any fashion he wants to. IG Live, X Posts, X Live, I don't even know if there is an X Live, but IG posts, podcasts, TikToks, forums, television, instant interviews, through video chat, through many of his Bron Goblins and puppets in the media. People like to talk about his detractors and haters, but often fail to mention the equal and opposite extreme. And all of the people that praise this man to no end. To be honest, the opposite extreme isn't even equal. I'll be honest. This man has far more positive propaganda out there than the opposite. And they will praise him to no end. He's by far and away the most popular player in the league. And social media and his use of it does play a major factor in that success. Many of which have hitched their wagon to LeBron through the medium of social media. Especially those people who are unfamiliar with LeBron or basketball, but only see the selective propaganda that has been and is being force-fed to them. And they take it as gospel. Example, I had an ex-girlfriend a couple years ago. Never watched basketball, don't know anything about basketball. And she's just talking, and she starts talking about how LeBron James is so great and the best player ever, and that he's the GOAT. And I've never heard this girl mention basketball before. I looked at her, and I said, well, what makes you say that? Why is LeBron James the best? Why is LeBron James the GOAT? She just looking at me with a blank face. She's like, I don't know. See, that's what people on Twitter say. I did this. I said, girl, we need to have a talk. Let me enlighten you on some other great players, and let me enlighten you about the truth of LeBron James and his career and the shenanigans that got him to where he's at right now. She is a perfect example of how people just hear things and see things and run with it and continue to push it out. Didn't know a damn thing about LeBron. I taught her a lot about basketball after that. LeBron James never had a super team. That's what they're saying now on social media. LeBron James never was a flopper. LeBron James never load managed. LeBron James never had help. All his teammates sucked. He has nothing to do with coaches getting fired, players getting traded. It's even worse for Jordan because now you got the young age of people. They're the ones using social media the most. So a lot of stuff they're putting out is anti-Jordan. Jordan couldn't use his left hand. Jordan couldn't dribble left. Jordan wasn't clutch. Jordan's defense is overrated. Jordan was a stat patter. These are all examples of frequent media content that gets published. And if you know anything about basketball and the history of the game, you would know how absurd it is. It's these kinds of things that people that lack knowledge and are extremely malleable latch on to and push the information forward. Ladies and gentlemen, social media has done nothing but help LeBron James and his career. And it would not expose Jordan in any kind of way, despite what people try to tell you. Folks, that's all I got to say about it. I appreciate you for stepping in. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified. And I catch you on the next one. We out, baby.